In today's video, I'm going to share with you some of the qualities that differentiate someone who is a good speaker from a great speaker. Because in business, I work with a lot of solo entrepreneurs, and although they may be a great speaker, like they are very good at sharing their expertise and putting themselves out there in the world, that they're finding that, well, I'm speaking here, there, and everywhere, but it's not translating into sales, right? That they're leaving money on the table. And this is a big reason why a lot of people come to work with me, is because they understand that speaking is a powerful skill that we can all have access to, right? We all don't have to be Tony Robbins. We all have a natural inherent voice and skill set and energy that we bring to speaking, and that can really amplify no matter what strategy or business model that you're using to help magnetize, attract the right people, to get your message out there, to be more visible in the world. But there's certain shifts that we need to make and adjustments to help us go from just being a great speaker and good at and educating people and providing information, and actually having it turn into sales. So the first thing that I wanted to address, or first mistake that I commonly see, is that we are sharing way too much information in that talk, right? You may have, depending on the gig that you have, you may have a 10-minute slot, you may have a 45-minute slot, you may have a 90-minute slot, right? There's different lengths of talks. And what I see a lot of soul-led business owners doing is that they are filling all of that time with as much content as they possibly can. And that by the end of that presentation, the viewer is totally full. It's like going to a buffet and just stuffing your face and piling your plate really high and just taking everything in. So by the end of the talk, they're like, whoa, I have enough stuff, information to work on for the next year. I don't need anything else, right? So that's the first thing is, and believe me, I'm guilty of this as well. I love giving, and I have so much to share. So my tendency is to do that also. So what I would suggest is seeing if you can reduce it to 3 points. Like, can you isolate three main points of your talk and stick to those points, and realizing that you can't possibly give everyone everything in any given particular talk, no matter whether it's a 20-minute talk or a 90-minute talk. You can't solve everyone's problems in that finite period of time. So making it manageable and digestible so that people can grasp it, so that people can actually work with it in the moment and be able to remember it and internalize it in some way, is going to make it that much more easier for them to have the room and the space to even want and desire your next thing, your offer, your bigger transformation. That is the whole reason that you're putting yourself out there in the world. And the second mistake that I see so commonly is that we're not showing up with the right intention, in that we are focusing on providing information rather than providing entertainment factor. And this is another reason why you can have a very technical skill set, you can have a lot of expertise and modalities and information to share, but if you treat it like a university lecture and it's very dry, it's very boring, you may be giving really valuable information, but if people aren't connecting with it, if people aren't laughing or feeling entertained, or you're not sharing it in a way that makes it memorable for your audience, it's just kind of going to go over their heads, or they're just going to glaze over and get bored, or they're going to tune it out and start scrolling on their phones. So that's something in terms of your intention to be aware of too, because what I hear so often from soul-led business owners' mouths is they're saying, I just want to educate people. I just want to provide that information so that they know it exists. And that is not the right intention to have. If you are in business, and that you have to appreciate that the real reason that you are doing this talk in the first place is not just to provide education. If it was, then you'd be running a charity, because you would be going out there in the world offering free talks, or maybe you're getting paid to do it in some cases, and just putting that information out there, and that's the end of the story. But what I know is the real reason why you want to do these talks is because you want to attract new clients, because you want to ultimately enroll people into the bigger transformation and service, into your coaching programs, or into your healing practice, or into working with you if you're a creator or a designer, that to help them build their website, or there's something bigger that you want to bring people into, and not to just stop at the information you provide in the session. So being really clear on that also, that I am not just, you are here to educate, you are here to bring awareness to things, but you also ultimately want to create connection and to be able to entertain people, make them laugh, help them to see themselves in the information that you're sharing, making it relevant to them, making it engaging for them, because that's what actually takes the information from being something dry and theoretical to being something that, oh, I can see how this applies in my life. I can see how my life is going to be better now because I have this understanding and this knowledge, right? So building the connection. And then the third mistake is, that kind of goes along with this, is that we have to come into creating these talks with a very clear objective. And this is what we often call in the marketing world reverse engineering, right? Thinking about, what is it that I want to happen at the end of this talk, and being really clear on that. And then when you come from that intention, you build the talk based on that. And again, what I often see, the mistake that I see, is people going into it with the intention of, I'm just here to educate, rather than thinking about, okay, I'm here to book. For example, your intention going into a talk could be, I'm here to have at least 20 or 30 opt-ins for my lead magnet, or I am here to enroll at least 8 people into my discovery session, right? That's a very different intention, that is not just about sharing information, right? We have a goal, and ultimately that goal exists because we want to bring people into our world. We want to have them join our communities. We want them to continue engaging with us and receiving our newsletters, or engaging with a free gift or a report if you're doing a lead magnet or something that you've created, or to take the next step with you into a program or a course of some sort, right? So being really clear. So the mistake that we make is that we have a very small or vague intention, right? The vague intention being like, yeah, I just want to share, right? Or a very small intention, like, I'm not expecting much from this. What if you went into it with the certainty of, if I know a certain number of people are in the room, an exact percentage of those people are going to take the next step with me, to sign up for my gift or book a call with me, or whatever it is that you're going to do. And then when you're creating the talk, that you're actually building that talk by positioning that entire goal, that the whole talk is built around positioning your offer at the end, so that by the time you make that offer, it just makes sense, right? That all roads, all paths led to this opportunity and the awareness. Because we have to realize that although we're here to educate, you can educate on all kinds of things. And when you think about it from a bigger perspective, you want to create education around changing people's perspectives, giving them a bigger vision for themselves, and helping them to see the value of this bigger transformation that you can create when you actually work together, right? Rather than just, it's great to have small short-term wins that they can apply in the moment, But when you get into a place of building your talk around, I'm just going to share with them a whole bunch of stuff so that they can go home and all their problems are solved and they don't need anything from me, it's not really honest. It's not really true. Not because we don't want to help them, but because we also know that we can't actually solve all these problems in this finite amount of time, right? That the accountability, that the support, that the deeper levels of the work can only happen when we work together. So having a very clear intention of what is that next step that I want to invite people to is step 3. And then building the talk around positioning that. So a great question that I love to ask myself, and that I do this with my clients as well and helping them to build their talks, is what does this person, this audience member, need to understand in order to be able to take the next step with me? Like what is the insight? What are the principles or the awareness that I need to create for them to see the next step as the right next step for them? Okay. And that's truly being of service because we're helping to take them along the journey of creating that transformation in their life. So, to recap, the 3 mistakes that differentiate someone who's a good speaker from being a great speaker, in other words, a great speaker being someone who can sell and convert from stage and make money from speaking, is the first mistake is teaching or talking too much. Of course, we're talking the whole time, but piling in way too much information so that people feel like they just ate at a buffet and they need to go to sleep. Now, the second one is that we are focusing on delivering, the intention is of delivering information and educating rather than entertaining and building connection and relationship, right? That so much of what we bring, the value, and okay, this is another little bit that I want to add on to number 2, is that so much of the value that we bring that we don't realize is just the frequency of our transmission. It's the presence of our own energy and all the unique experiences and skills and stories and gifts and talents and the way that we speak and the way that we move, and all of this stuff is actually a big part of why people are attracted to us and the value that people get, that they're literally spending time in your energy field, and that's what's transforming them, not the words that you're saying. Okay, so don't get so fixated on the words. And this is what I get into in my programs as well, around helping people to bring out more of their presence so that you're not so fixated on the perfection around getting the right words, but it's about the transmission. So really getting out of this mindset of I need to say certain things and I have to provide information, and realizing that this is really an opportunity for us to build connection, to entertain, to engage people, to help people feel like they're not alone and relate to them, and to bring us all back down to earth in a grounded way, and so that we can feel like we're really creating a sense of belonging in the room, right? And then the third mistake is having a small or a vague intention about what we're planning, what we want to get out of the talk. So instead, having a very clear outcome that we're looking to accomplish, and then thinking about, okay, how can I reverse engineer this talk so that I'm positioning this offer that I'm going to make at the end? Okay. So I'd love to hear in the comments which tip is the most useful for you right now in your speaking. And I wanted to share with you an invitation that I have a workshop coming up on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a 90-minute workshop called Create Your Mic Drop Moment. And it is one of my most popular workshops. It's specifically around speaking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to take your ordinary elevator pitch message. You know, when you go to a networking meeting or a social event and people ask you, what do you do? I'm going to help you turn 30 to 60 seconds of time on that stage, whether it's in person or virtually, and turn it into a captivating and compelling experience where people are just blown away and they say, wow, they're impressed, and it has the right people leaning in to learn more and wanting to speak to you further, which is really what we want to do. We want to make the most. You don't need a lot of time to make a big impact, but we need to make the most of those half a minute to a minute that we get, so that we are getting people's attention, so that we have people, maybe they don't even remember what you did, but they remember, oh my gosh, that person, she was impressive or he was impressive. I want to go talk to them and learn more, right? That's what we want to do. So I'm going to help you craft that in my own unique, using my own unique process that I've used to make tens of thousands of dollars from these pitches. And I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to hold nothing back, and I'm going to work with you hands-on in this workshop. It's just $11 to join. So it's a no-brainer, and I would love to support you with that. So I'll share the link in the description of this video, and I would love to see you there on Tuesday. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video valuable, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos on how to grow your soul-led business. Thanks for everybody for watching, and see you soon.